Ready for the first witness?
Your Honor, the same would like to call Ms. Jackie Whistler.
This one, the proposed witness name? Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your full name for the record.
Jackie Whistler.
Okay, proceed.
Please state your name for the court. My name is Jackie Whistler. What is your involvement in this case? I pled guilty to burglary and theft as an accomplice to Pat Hopper. And prior to your incarceration, what was your occupation? I formerly worked as a real estate agent. Why is this significant to the case at hand? That's how I was able to get access to the lockbox code address to Wilson's house. And what did you do with this code? I posted it on an online public forum. Why would you do that? It was all part of a contest to see which one of my anti-Devonian followers would steal the Wilson Devonians from our purse. Why would you come up with such a contest? Well, you see, I have a problem with the Devonians living in America without American citizenship. I say they denounce their Devonian citizenship, gain American citizenship, and pledge loyalty to our country if they live here. Or else go back to Devonia where they rightfully belong. How have you dealt with these feelings? I've created 2 websites to promote my Devonian Go Home movement. And what is the Devonian Go Home movement? It's a movement that protects us by singling out Devonians living in America without American citizenship. Okay. So, what happened after you posted the lockbox code? The defendant, Pat Hopper, contacted me, and he asked for the address and the lockbox code. So I gave it to him, as well as the description of the stall. Have you spoken to the defendant since you gave him the code? Yes, he called me after and told me he got into the house and got the star. And what happened several weeks later after this incident? I saw Lawrence Wilson, his math teacher, preaching against the American justice system at a Devonian rally. And someone waved the Devonian star, and he got crazy and ran after him. So I shot him before he could shoot someone else. What is part of the plea deal?
Objection, Your Honor, lack of proper foundation.
Response?
Your Honor, the plea deal is a significant part of this case, and it is in your statement, and I feel to conclude the directs, the jury needs to know what is part of the plea deal.
What do you mean by no foundation?
Well, they haven't even discussed the plea deal as a result of the gunshot.
Well, I think that's what the question was, though, so I'm going to overrule the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, would you like me to repeat the question? Yes, please. Okay. So what is part of the plea deal? Part of the plea deal was that I have to testify truthfully here today about what happened that night on June 11, 2010. Will the verdict in this case change your prison sentence? No, it will not. Thank you. No further questions.
Response?
Yes, Your Honor. Good evening, Mrs. Whistler.
Good evening.
Now, you mentioned on direct that the verdict in this case will not change your prison sentence, isn't that correct?
Whether he's guilty or not guilty, either way, it doesn't matter.
Would you please respond to the questions in a yes or no form?
Okay.
You know, you did mention on direct that the verdict in this case will not affect it, right?
Yes, I did.
But you took a plea bargain from the state, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And as a result of this plea bargain, that will affect your prison sentence, won't it?
Excuse me?
You were facing a murder 1 charge, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
And as a result of the plea bargain that you made with the state, you are now down to attempted murder. Isn't that true?
Yes, but whether he's guilty or not guilty doesn't affect
Would you please respond to the questions in a yes or no form?
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel is not allowing the witness to respond to these questions. I feel yes or no will not suffice some of these questions.
Well, Your Honor, it's my understanding that when I ask a non-open-ended question for cross-examination, the witness is to respond in a yes or no form.
Certainly, the question did call for a yes or no answer, so after you answer the questions correctly, you can always revisit it on redirect at that time, so I'm going to overrule the objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Now, as a result of this plea bargain, your sentence has gone down to 15 years, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
15 years with an 85% chance of parole, hasn't it?
Parole ineligibility.
Now, you mentioned on direct that you agreed as part of this plea bargain to testify truthfully against my client Pat Hopper today in court, didn't you?
Yes.
So, you pled guilty to attempted murder, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
But you were expecting the jury to believe that you would not commit the lesser offense of perjury.
I did not, so yes, I did expect them.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Can you read the record?
briefly explain, Ms. Whistler, the difference between testifying in court and the verdict of this case?
Well, to testify in this court, I testified truthfully against Pat Hopper, which is truthfully against what happened that night on June 11th. But as when I shot Lawrence Wilson, the verdict of this case doesn't take away anything. I have 15-year sentence, and I get 85% parole ineligibility, which means I can only get 2 years off if I testify truthfully. If I don't testify truthfully, the deal's off.
Thank you. No further questions.
Any recross?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you very much.